So when we arrived yesterday evening, early evening at Tzfat, the men were about to go off to the mikvah, and Rachel wanted the women to gather for their own spiritual mikvah type experience, virtual mikvah experience. So the women all gathered on the patio, and Beth Sperber-Ritchie and Cantor Rachel sang, and then they led us through a meditation where we envisioned stepping into the mikvah step by step and losing all of the pressures of the week, and then getting into a Shabbat mode and stepping down into the steps and immersing. It was this beautiful, peaceful, virtual mikvah experience that was paralleling the men's experience in the actual mikvah. But little did we know what they were experiencing was actually quite different.
So let me try to describe this scene to you. We had to first find the mikvah bath, which was a natural fed spring, kind of in a ravine, I guess is how I describe it. So we had to go up a steep hill and then down a steep slope, dressed appropriately for Tzfat. And as we're doing this, we see men coming down from different hillsides down into this ravine. And the ravine leads to sort of this shed, which might be a very generous description of the place we're going to for the mikvah bath. So the first thing I notice as we're getting to the mikvah bath is this aroma. This was wafting over the breeze. It was the stench of all these men who had hiked, in the heat, including us, going up the hill and then down the hill into the ravine because we were all obviously very hot and sweaty. So,
but once we got into the mikvah, it was a completely different experience.
Yes.
Not.
Yes.
It was like being in a train station, and you get undressed, so everybody's naked and pushing each other into a line that's about 15, 20 people long, and you wait for your turn to step into the bath, dunk your head 3 times, and get out. There was no prayer, there was no spiritual existence at all, there was no joy. This was a completely profane experience as opposed to the sacred experience that the women had done.
Actually, I'd go a little farther and use the word kind of disgusting rather than profane, because this natural fed spring pool was a 3 by 3 foot square, the water being kind of a green, cloudy, smelly, somewhat weird-looking slick pond, which we had to then get in and dip our heads underwater 3 times and lift our legs up at the same time we put our heads underwater. You're supposed to be suspended in the water to do this traditionally the correct way. I didn't realize at the time, but when I did my first dunk, my mouth was open, and I realized that some of that lovely water had actually entered an orifice in my body, which was really concerning to me. In any event, I did come out healthy, and I haven't gotten sick. So.
The moral of this story is imagination is often better than reality.
Yeah.